There is another story about two monks. The two Zen Buddhist monks are walking. And what happened is that one of the monks saw a woman.
Oh, yeah.
And the woman had a child and she was ready to cross a river, but she was scared that she would not be able to cross it. So therefore, the monk who saw her need immediately went, picked her up on his shoulder and took her with the baby across, left her there and returned to the other monk. Now, this other monk, as they're Zen Buddhists, they talk very little. After 2 hours, he asked him, how did you dare to touch the body of a woman?
Hold it even.
And hold it.
Across.
And take her across. So then 2 hours later, the other one answers, I took her across and left her there, but you are still carrying her.
Still carrying her up to here, yeah. Attachment. The inside precept and the outside precept. The saints, the masters, they do things without attaching to things. They just do what they have to do. But other people, they do because of their habits and their desires force them to do. Even though the outside appearance looked the same. There was one master in China, he was so famous and the king loved him so much that he bestowed about 13 wives for that master. That was the habit with the kings, to bestow beautiful women to somebody they in favor. Yeah, and if you don't accept the favor of the king, then you will accept the execution. So accept the gallows. So the master, of course, accepted the woman. And then all the disciples were excited. All the male disciples, of course, say, Master, if you could have 13 wives, at least we could have one. Two.
Mire, maestro, si usted puede tener 35...
So the master took a handful of pin and swallowed it. And said, if you could do the same, you could have even 30.
Yep.
All the disciples showed their tongue and said that. But of course there was too extreme of the master. He didn't need to do that, to show off his magic. He could use logic is enough. Yes, there is the difference between people, not only masters and disciples. Therefore, I have taught you to be frugal, and not to be greedy and exceeding your share. Yes, not to spend more than you have. When it's necessary, we take, we use. When it's not, try not to. Otherwise, we might be in trouble. Sometimes we might get sick, incurable disease. Yeah, I knew one person who practiced, and he always tried to live on somebody else's, and he has always diarrhea. The impure offering. Sometimes we take presents from other people which is impure. It also affects us. Sometimes we don't even know that affect us. But we become like we own that person or these persons something. We just feel like we are bound to them and we don't know why we couldn't get away. And sometimes like that, just because we take their presents.
There is a story about Guru Nanak, and two people come, a rich and a poor man, to give him the money. And he accepted the money of the poor and not the one of the rich. So the rich one got very upset and asked Guru Nanak, why are you not accepting my money when you can do a lot with it? Yes. And then he took 2 chapatis in his hand and he took the one of the rich man and pressed it and blood came out of the hard work of all those people he exploited. And the other one of the poor man, he took that chapati and out of it came milk. Is that why also, Master Charan Singh, for example, and the satsangis, they never accept gifts of the people, like if they know if it's contaminated. And plus, he only accepts for the work, let's say, of the langar, if there is given food to the people, but never personal things. Or for ashram, and some people he never accepts even.
He always pays for what he eats.
And he always pays for what he eats.
From his disciples. He worries about his own personal karma. Yes. He's very, very worried.
He's worried?
Yes, sure. Otherwise he would take.
Por eso es que
Even from his disciples, he paid.
Yeah.
He paid for every meal he ate from every house, any house, from his disciples.
Por eso
from the
es
house
que
of the disciple, that I didn't know.
Probably his merit was not great enough, and he knows it. Probably he wanted to set an example to his disciples. So even such a master dare not accept offering from other people. How would we dare? Yes, I don't tell you anything which is untrue. Even the master get contaminated temporarily. How would the ordinary people? But there is a difference between an adult and a child, of course. If a child has happened to fall into a mud pool, he could not clean himself.
Yeah.
But when an adult fall into it, he could get out himself and clean it in no time. That's the difference. That's why the ancient monks and even modern monks, they never touch you.
Never touch me.
Yeah. Indian, when they give you blessed food, they drop in your hand
Like
from
that.
2 kilometers apart.
True.
por eso es que
True,
los
yes.
monjes nunca
They did that with monks and nuns also, not with only ordinary people. And that's why it came the custom in India untouchable. It wasn't bad. It came from those initiated people who tried to avoid, to minimize the contamination with the uninitiated people. And now they make it become a customs without any meaning. All of them are contaminated together. What's wrong with touching more or less? Understand? Both of them are same.
esa
The touch and
costumbre,
the touch and the touchy.
esa costumbre no es,
Same. The true Brahmins are those who were initiated in ancient times when they had a living master. And after the master died and the generation died and no more lineage, and the babies were born out of this Brahmin family, even without master, without initiation, without purity, nothing. They are not touch other because of customs. Even though both are contaminated, both are dirty. Understand?
Yes.
So many customs are left over from the spiritual heritage. It's not really bad. Just no meaning anymore, that's all. Just like St. John, he was a great saint, and even if he baptized people with water, he has a charging power. But now the church, they just sprinkle water on you with no power at all.
Why did Jesus say that you have to be baptized by water and spirit, both?
He didn't say that.
no, él no dijo eso.
He never said that.
Water
When
and
he
spirit.
was baptized, and John said, "No, why you baptized by me, Master? You are above me." And Jesus said, "Oh, let the law be done. I mean, let it be now normally. I baptized with water, but the one who came after me, mightier than I am, greater than I am.
You,
I will baptize you with this Holy Ghost." I mean, use just inside transmission. You see, the ghost.
So in a way he meant only by fire, that the Christian really has to be baptized by fire. That means, for example,
Fire and the Holy Ghost. That
so
means
if you-
light.
that's the light.
Yeah, fire.
No,
And
el
what
que
about
dijo eso no
speaking
fue
the
Cristo,
tongues?
fue San
Yes, they speaking in the tongue. That the Holy Ghost will speak in the tongue. You see, speak inside.
lo que estaba
Sound.
diciendo